Well, hey folks, welcome back to the Moped project. It's been a little while, but I finally solved some of the problems I was trying to sort through on the last video. And we're going to go ahead and get started and get this thing back together, get it running, so I can check and see how my low-end torque is going to come out with this new kit I'm putting on. And here it is right now. Pretty much the way y'all last saw it. Got a lot more going on in here. I'm prepping for a yard sale right now. But we're going to go ahead and get started on getting the reed valves put in, and the new piston, the new cylinder head, and all that stuff, and carburetor. And there's one thing I'm going to spare you the pain on, and that's this throttle cable. How I have to marry these two together to work with the new carburetor is it's beyond frustrating just thinking about it, but I think I've pretty much figured out how to do it. I'm going to show you a little bit later on exactly what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm just going to do it, and then I'm going to show you what I did, because it's going to be beyond frustrating trying to manage a camera and doing that whole process at the same time. So all this stuff's got to get kind of sorted together, put back into here with the throttle, and make it all work. So first thing we're gonna do, get started over on the bench with the reed valves. All right, let's start getting these reed valves put in. These are the new ones. I guess they're like some kind of plastic or composite type of reed valve. First thing I do is get the old ones out. We'll need this piece again, and then there's the old one. Set that aside for safekeeping. See if I can get the other one started. Try to get them all oriented the same way. I don't know if that's important or not, but I don't have any instructions on how to do this. I looked and they were very blurry and I couldn't read them, but I could tell that which one goes on top of the other, and that's really all I really need to know, is which one goes on top of the other. Now, I'm not putting Loctite on these screws yet. I want to test this moped and this whole big bore kit before I really commit to making it a thing, and also to see if I need to add anything else. That looks like it's laying on there nice and flat. There you go, reed valves are done. What we have to do now is, you got the assembly here with the reed valves and I have the adapter for the new carburetor in this package, and we got to get that bolted on, and it goes just like that. First, I already got the hardware in there. Need to get a gasket on there. Put it on like that. One's a stud, the other one's a bolt. And I don't know which is which, but this will work. All right, here we have the assembly with the reed valves and the adapter for the new carburetor. It needs to go down right in here. Just like so. I dug around through the kit of hardware that I bought that came off of a disassembled moped just like this, and I found the screws that go in here, which will replace the ones that came out because they were all stripped really badly. Actually, I'm surprised I was able to actually get them out. The screwdriver barely grabbed the screws. So we'll get these things started. All right, here we are on the throttle cable debacle I gotta sort out. Here's the original carburetor that's stock to these FA50s, and on the other end of this cable, this is what it looks like stock. This goes in here like that, right? That's different from the new one, right? So the new one, a little bit different, right? And it has the throttle cable end looks like this. Goes in there, it's got the little end on there that grabs whatever that thing is called and pulls it up and down, right? So that's not hard to figure out right there. The problem that I'm running into that I think I've solved is the end. Here's the end of the stock. This little piece of plastic right here connects to the handlebar, right? And what they sent me was this little doohickey, and it doesn't connect to it at all. So that's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this cable off, and I'm going to take this little plastic thing, and well, I'm also going to cut the end of this cable off so I can slide that plastic thing on there. They sent me, this is a little piece of lead that's cast on there. You can find these on bicycles and everything. But anyway, they sent me a little metal one that you can slide on there and using an Allen key, tighten it on there. So it's like kind of an add-on. So my thought process right now to make this work is I'm going to get this little plastic deal off of here. I'm going to slide it over here, and then I'm going to use some heat shrink, probably several layers of it, this heat shrink tubing right here. I'm probably going to start with that one and maybe this one after over that to make it nice and stiff, just to connect this little plastic thing right here to the cable. The cable sheathing right here, right? I got plenty of adjustment on the other end, so I don't need the adjuster that's right here. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do and get that on there. That way this end with this new little part right here will go into the actual handlebar and allow me to use the throttle. And it's important that I have this little plastic thing because this actually goes in and turns a little bit and connects to the actual whole assembly that's on the handlebar. So we're going to go ahead and get started and get this off of here, put on here with some shrink wrap tubing stuff with a heat gun, and get it ready to install. All right, let's get this little plastic thing off of here that I need. This is probably not gonna work. Oh, it worked. Okay, well, all right. That's the part I need that's beat up. There's a repair I made on here probably about 20 years ago to make that kind of stay in there, because something broke on here. I can't remember what, but this is the part I need to made up to this. Let's get the old cable out of here. Alright, so what I gotta do is I gotta pull this out as far as it'll go, cut off as long as humanly possible. And the idea is this is gonna go onto here like that, and then I'm gonna attach this on the end to replace this little lead casting thing. But first, before I put that on there, I need to get some heat shrink on there. And hopefully pick the right sizes. Okay, that one barely fits on there. Let's get about, well, it won't fit on here though. That's not gonna work. Let's try the next size. Okay, I can get that one in there. All right, let's cut. Let's just get half of a piece. And then a little bit more than half of a piece of the next size. Let's slide the big one on first, and then the smaller one, and then we'll slide this little plastic thing that I can't find a replacement for onto here. And then we're going to shove this smaller one as far as we can. No more than halfway though. That's about right. All right, so I want to point something out real quick. I'm using marine heat shrink that has like a hot glue in there. So I want to let this set up and cool off and basically the glue dry before I slide the next piece over. All right, let's get our second layer on here. Get the heat gun. Alright, like the first one, we'll let that cool off, and I'm going to try to get a third layer on there in just a few minutes. Alright, third layer going on. That should make it nice and solid. Let that cool off for about 15 minutes. All right, now we're getting ready to feed the throttle cable through the body of the well, the frame of the moped, so I can get up to the front. I put this cord in here earlier, so we're going to try to sneak it in there and pull from the other end. This needs a little bit more tape. That choke cable's getting in the way. That might fix it. It's supposed to go back in the same way it came out. Okay, I got that throttle cable all fed through. It's coming out up here, ready to go around and up here to the handlebar. So the next step now is to actually marry up the frame to the engine transmission part. So I gotta lower this down a little bit. Okay, I got the suspension hooked up. I got the bolt through there that hooks up this thing, engine transmission, to the frame. That's all done. I got the brake hooked up. It's not adjusted yet, but the brake is in there. I put the oil thing from the oil tank, the oil tube, and I'm not liking it. I'm probably gonna delete that. It just seems like it's feeding in way too much oil. It's supposed to be factory spec is supposed to be 40-1, but with as much oil that comes out of the exhaust and sprays on the license plate right there, I'm guessing it's probably around 25, maybe even 20-1. So that's gonna get deleted. I can't find another pump like that that's a brand new condition. This one's obviously worn out, so I'm probably gonna delete the oil tank and just do premix 50-1, and that'll solve that problem. All right, now we're gonna try and go ahead and get the new cylinder head put in. The piston's already in it. I don't have a ring compressor small enough to put the piston on first and then slide the head on, so I'm going to try to do all of it at once. First thing I have to do is, here is the wrist pin bearing. We're going to slide that back in. I got a feeling this is going to be really tricky. I'm going to give it a drop of oil, just kind of some pre-lubrication for when the engine first starts up with all these new parts. Came with a new wrist pin right here. Get that out of the package. Have that ready to go. Get a little bit of oil on it. I got a feeling this is going to be really tricky. Super tricky. So I got the gasket on here already. Let's see if I can get this figured out. Just want to get it on there far enough to get that wrist pin in there. That looks about right. See if we can slide her in there. Here's the pin. It's not liking it so far. Went in halfway. I don't want to have to give it any mechanical encouragement. I guess this could go this way, so a little bit, maybe right there, maybe. There we go. Ooh, was it that easy? I just got it in there, I think. I did. It is in there. Okay, so we're just going to slide this on and get it seated on the gasket. There we go. So, next thing is the head gasket. Anybody know what this thing is? I haven't got a clue. But it's in the package that has the head gasket and the gasket for the carburetor. Don't get it. No idea. Definitely doesn't go there. Interesting. Got the new head gasket here. And it's very different from the old one. The old one is a steel gasket and it's flat. This one looks like it's a brass or copper, probably copper, and it's got a raised ring, like a compression ring on it. I don't know what direction it goes. As a matter of fact, I don't think it really matters, honestly. But we're going to go with this direction. Get that on there. On goes the head. Gasket's a little springy. That's onto the head bolts here, and then I'll start tightening them down. I have no idea what the torque spec is supposed to be on these. Been looking, can't figure it out, so I'm just gonna make them tight. So at this step of the process, it's kind of like a proof of concept, because I haven't seen too much online, really hardly anything at all, on these big bore kits from Treatland. So I'm not gonna overdo anything right now. I'm just gonna get things put together and I'm gonna try to start it. Main goal right now is to find out how much extra bottom end torque I'm getting, and then sort out the next step, which will probably be some sprocket changes in the transmission so I can kind of balance out my bottom end torque and also increase my top end speed. I'd like to be 35 miles an hour. That'd be kind of ideal, because that will put me in a situation where I can keep up with traffic in town, pretty much on any street in town. Yeah, there's some places where it's 40, but if you're doing 35, you're not really impeding traffic. So if I can get at least 35, that'd be pretty cool. Okay, so I dismantled the carburetor a little bit. And where did that doohickey go? There it is. This little plastic thing right here was inside of here. All right, and this is supposed to go over the adapter. Well, this would not fit over it. It will not fit. It's just way too small. And then I pulled it out. I had to destroy it to get it. And then I put this over, and it's way too loose. And you can't tighten it down far enough to get it tightened on there. But at the same time, you kind of need one of these things in there as a gasket. I'm getting really frustrated with Treatland. Is it called Treatland? Treatland TV? Treatland.tv.com. This doesn't match up. And you're selling this for $460, this whole kit? The cylinder head, this adapter, this muffler, the reeds and everything else. Why doesn't it fit? Now I've got to fashion, at my own expense obviously, an adapter. I can put this on here because this little doohickey don't work. Garbage. Complete trash. This is like a $200 carburetor. Well, I'm going to figure it out because, well, I just got to. I need to make this thing work and test out my 60cc overhaul. Okay, I figured out the debacle with the carburetor and its adapter, and I got that sorted out. But by that time I was completely frustrated with the fact that there was no instructions with this specific FA50 rebuild kit. You would think that if it was specifically put together for a Suzuki FA50 that they'd have a few instructions. No, they didn't. So I had to dive deep and start sorting some things out and do a lot of problem solving, and I got it figured out, and I just went ahead and threw the camera down and put it all together. And the next step is going to be getting it down off the table and firing it up, and that's what we're going to end the video with today. But I want to show you guys real quick what all I sorted out and what I figured out. So here's the moped. It's all back together, everything. As you can see, I even got some new nice rubber, we call them foot pegs, I think. Put a new horn on it because it was in the kit well, not in the kit, it was in the box of secondhand items I got. And something that's really cool is I got the new dash in there, and instead of 5,000 miles on it, now I've got like 2,000 some miles. Anyway, it works. Key comes in and out. Works really good. And let's go over here to where all the business is going on. So you guys saw me, I put the new cylinder head in here. Got the head put on, all that stuff. Here's the new carburetor. I ran into a lot of problems with the accelerator cable, and it was very involved, and it took probably about 2 hours for me to get it sorted out. But it's on there, and it's all hooked up right through here to my accelerator, and it works the way it should. Not as smooth as I'd like. I probably need to put some graphite down that cable, but it's on there. Mufflers here. This is another frustrating problem because it didn't line up very good, and I had to drill this hole out here, this mounting hole out, quite large to get it to line up. And I got it in there. And what else did I do? Oh, I got my new battery in here. Had to do a little bit of cutting and filing and modifications of this plastic tub thing that it sits in to get this battery in here. This is an upgrade because the other ones were just regular lead acid batteries. This one is a sealed lead acid battery, and I'm hoping that solves the problem I've had for years, where the distilled water in the battery evaporates faster than you can put it back in. Anyway, I got that hooked up, and it actually works. Horn works. Hang on, turn signals, I think. Yeah, the turn signals work. Yeah, there's the indicator. There's one flashing. This one doesn't flash because I still have a wiring problem. And let's go left. There's the left one blinking. There's the left one blinking in the back. Taillight's on too. Hey, I wonder if the brake light works. Let's try that out. Sure enough does. But, oh, I gotta adjust that brake. But brake light works. So that's the problem I've had for a long time, is with these lights, the battery will lose charge so quickly that you'll be at a dead stop at like a stop sign or a traffic light or something like that, and there's not enough juice in there to operate your turn signals. And I'm hoping this battery solves that problem, and the magneto down here has enough juice to, well, keep it charged. Well, it's the next day, and we got more problems. Moped's all tore apart again, and this time it's electrical. I wasn't getting any spark down here. Started digging around. I found a wire back up here that it's pulled up, so I got to pull it back down. That was broken, and I got that crimped back together. I put another ignition coil on here and ran that up, hooked that up in here the way it's supposed to be, and still no spark. And I'm pretty sure I know why. So once upon a time, a few days ago, when this moped was split apart, this back part fell off the table. I don't know how it happened. All I know is I came back from running errands and it was hanging down here on the floor. And there's a wire that goes from the magneto. It's right back here, this wire right there, and it runs up into here. And so it was hanging from that wire. I checked all the connections up here where it goes. These are all good, but I got a sneaking suspicion that somewhere inside the magneto, in the back part of it, one of those wires has been pulled off. It's wherever it's supposed to be connected, and I'm gonna have to get this cover off, pull the whole magneto out to get to it, and here we go again. All right, let's begin. I already broke all these screws loose, so it should come right out. Hopefully I can do this without having to take the muffler off. That was a bit of a pickle to get on. It's right behind this cover is the magneto. And I'm kind of hoping I don't have to take the magneto out to see the problem and also fix the problem. But I got a sneaking suspicion that magneto's coming out. Yep. Let's see if I can see back there. Yeah, I can see where the wires come in, and well, the coils look pretty decent, but looks like I got to take this off. Is that the rotor? Yeah, I think that'd be the rotor, and then the stationary part would be the stator. Somebody can correct me if I'm backwards on that. All right, we've come to a bit of an impasse. Inside of here, these are the coils. I don't know how these magnetors work, but there's 3 screws in here that they're not coming out at all. And I've run out of time. As I've mentioned in a few videos past, that I've got a very expensive project coming up, and it's coming up very soon. And I gotta wrap this thing up for now and go proceed on with this next expensive project. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing all buttoned up, put back together, and get it stowed away. I need some space in my garage. This is not for the expensive project. Well, no, it's not the expensive project, but it has something to do with it. And we're gonna get into that tomorrow. But for right now, tonight, next 20 minutes or so, I'm gonna put this thing back together, get all the parts in the box, and get this thing set off to the side, and we'll pick up on the moped project in probably a couple or 3 months. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. That way, when I get back on this project, you'll get notified and you'll be ready to pick up right where we're leaving off right now.